All right, what's up? It's DJK back for show number 2. I actually had oh god, it sucks, not being used to talking for more than 8 seconds and just like, I know I'm a work in progress, but I had a whole show recorded yesterday. I recorded at like 5 in the afternoon, and I just ended up having to scrap the whole thing. It was just like, it was everything Kirk would have made fun of. It just sounded so wannabe. It sucked because I was fucking sleep deprived and just everything was going wrong yesterday. And I was like, oh, maybe I can get ahead of myself. I'll record something. And it was just, topics were great. Everything was fine. Just delivery was just fucking terrible. But I mean, it is what it is. I kind of got bailed out anyway, I guess, just because the rundown ended up being last night, which I totally forgot about. And it kind of blew everything up on Twitter last night in terms of, and the YouTube too. I want to get into that because Kirk is taking a fucking beating on our own YouTube page. I'll be honest, the Stoolies are showing out hard, Minifans are showing out hard, and it's just, the whole thing is so fucking strange. Just if you think about it, like, and I think I said this yesterday on Token T, it's such a shithead name of a podcast, but like the Minifans and the Stoolies, I feel like in a way, because they're both like, I think KFC or Big Cat had said it on the rundown, they're both such dedicated fan bases.
Why is it so adversarial? And I wonder why too. The like Minifans and Stoolies, because they're the same. They're like two different dogs looking at each other in the mirror.
Well, I guess it kind of makes sense that they clash, but I genuinely would have believed that they would have been a match made in heaven, and Minifans could have become Stoolies, and Stoolies could have been been Minifans as well. It's just, it's so weird because it's just, what we thought, I guess, was that Barstool was, pro say whatever you want, do whatever you want, be whatever you want. And, and apparently, Dave is political Dave. I'll get to that in a minute. Fucking politician Portnoy. He just hits the talking points and gets out of there. It doesn't address any of the actual things that matter. I'll tell you, he actually had me fooled. I listened to the rundown the first time last night, and it was one of those things where I listened to it and I was like, I don't know, man, he's got a couple of good points. And he did. He does say a couple of things that make sense. But then most of it, I kept re-listening, kept re-brainwashing myself, reprogramming myself to, take Kirk's side, because that's what we do. But no, seriously, I mean, the more I listened to it, and really the more I checked Twitter, if I'm being honest, they brought up all those things that, where I get to that name, political Portnoy, politician Portnoy, he didn't address, like, he hit some things that made sense, but you still didn't address why it's okay for Ellie Schnitt to call Kirk a racist, why it's okay for her to call Minifans racist. You scream that fucking the KMS show is in the fucking red.
You don't make dick. You're in the red. Kirk's in the red for this company. You know that, right? Everyone knows that. He loses this company money.
But then at the same time, you fail to mention, I presume, and I think I posted this on Twitter last night, that I believe, I actually have no idea what Kirk makes. I know it's, if I had to, I don't even want to say I know. My estimate is it's over 600 grand and below 900 grand. I think it's somewhere in that ballpark, so I'm just going to call it 750. So let's just say he makes $750,000 a year. Okay, Steve makes 6 figures. I know they've bragged about that on air. Blind Mike, I think, makes 30-something grand a year. I think it's like 32 or something like that. Plus, on top of that, studio setup. Ellie shares a studio. People have posted that. I think, who was it? Was it? Somebody posted about it on Twitter where they did like the whole analysis. Breadline Callahan, he did a great thing about, says a thread about KMS profitability, and he kind of hit all those points too, so I don't know, go show him some love. But that's what I think that, and I know Dave's just he might be trying to rile Kirk up. He also could be like a mastermind. This could be the greatest Vince McMahon work ever. Like, I don't know if Portnoy and Kirk are just like going back and forth, because I mean, if you think about it, it's run Barstool now for fucking like the last 5 rundowns. It's been all over the Kirk Minihane show. I mean, our YouTube page is full of this sort of K Marco versus Kirk content. And say what you want, I've always said, and there's this weird thing too, where there used to be a show, great show too. I don't ever know what happened to it, but there's this weird thing where people hate, like, there's been a lot of dislikes on some of these YouTube videos where people who hate the show will come and watch the videos, dislike it, and comment, but still watch it. I've never understood that. There was a really good show. It was called No One's Listening. That used to be the case with that all the time. It'd be like 24 likes and 20 dislikes on the video, but people fucking listened. And, Dave is also not dumb in terms of Vince McMahon sense. You need a good guy, you need a bad guy. Now, I'm not saying the thing is a work. I do have a conspiracy theory, though, about the Zonker stuff. I know KFC aired his out, and KFC's just a fucking idiot. Oh, God, you want to talk about YouTube comments? Look at those fucking YouTube comments on the rundown last night. And these are all stoolies just saying, like, KFC is washed up. He's a fucking wannabe, like, absolute fucking loser. Like, he just comes across as, like, really fake to me and the type of dude that would stab you in the back. I don't know if that's the case. Kirk seems to have nothing but good experiences with him. I mean, but it seems, when I get the impression of just listening to him, I thought he was like Team Kirk, but really it doesn't seem like that was the way. It seemed like he was just trying to be cordial, and he likes Kirk. I think he knows that Kirk is supremely better at this than him, but
I think he's super talented.
I guess in short, he just comes off as fake. Like, I don't know if there's any other way to put it. But, you know, I do think listening to the rundown, you are reminded, at least I was anyway, because I'm not a Sully. Like, I never listened to Dave or KFC or Big Cat. I didn't even know who KFC and Big Cat were prior to Kirk coming to Barstool. But when you listen, not KFC, but when you listen to Big Cat and Portnoy talk, you are kind of reminded, even if he's politician Dave, political Portnoy, like, you're reminded at least why they're very talented. You can say a lot of shit, and Big Cat's been kind of like, I don't know if Kirk's going to like that. Big Cat's been kind of playing like, he defended Kirk on the rundown. He was like one of the only guys who actually defended Kirk.
And again, I will defend Kirk in a little bit.
In this entire situation, but he's kind of like half in, half out. Kirk normally fucking hates that stuff where he's like, pick a side and stick with it. If you hate me, great. If you love me, great. Don't fall fucking somewhere in the middle, because that makes sense. I mean, and they did say Kirk is the king of the fucking crazies. Like, we really are fucking lunatics. Excuse me. And that was another thing, KFC.
The Minifans thing I was saying is, like, I just see his community, and it reminds me of Stooley's, like, dedicated fans, and I get a kick out of them. So I don't understand that part. I don't understand really why that hasn't, like, that because adversarial part where it's like these guys.
Yeah, but the Minifans stop, dude. The Stoolies are passionate, but they don't. The Minifans aren't funny. They do the parody accounts. They do all the lame shit that, like, we've always said not to do.
Saying, oh, Minifans are fucking lame. They do all the parody accounts, and, you know, Stoolies are so much cooler. Oh, okay, because you can shotgun a fucking beer, you fucking dumb bitch. Like, he's such a fucking idiot. Again, why don't you find me any... I bet, you know, how many followers does KFC have on Twitter? Hold on one second. I'm going to look it up. KFC Barstool. 384,000, basically 385,000 followers. I guarantee you he was one of those accounts that when Barstool was blowing up, that, like, when you first made your Twitter, they recommended that you follow because, like, you like sports and shit. It's like when you followed, like, Mike Trout on Twitter, like when you were 12 years old and you realized that was a fucking dumb decision. I guarantee you, of those 385,000 followers, I'm going to guess, maybe 100,000 of them are active. I guarantee you the other 200,000, never use Twitter, don't look at his tweets, or don't react to his tweets at all. Like, they're just inactive bots. Like, they were just, you know what I mean? I mean, look at what is this? Woke up and got out of bed for one of these. These are a fucking problem. No retweets, 132 likes, 8 replies. Yeah, that screams 385,000 active followers. He's just a fucking loser. But that, jeez, I guess that was a long way to get to Dave. he had that whole thing where he played, like, Minifans called him out for it last night, and it took me, I guess it really is the political brainwashing, because sometimes you can just hear somebody say something and you, like, forget all the things you wanted them to address because they put something Dave is, I guess he just says those things where it's like, in a way, isn't, like, he's polished, but he's not. He says good points, but he says them, he has the good talking points, say what you want. I mean, they're dumb when you understand the underlying issues, like any politician, but the way he delivers them is very relatable. So, you know, I'm not going to name anybody else who might do that, but I mean, you know, he delivers them in a way that's so relatable that the common dude, the common Sully can be like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, fuck Kirk. Which is also a fucking weird thing to do, because he's bitching and complaining, oh, Kirk Minihane's in the red, this stupid fucking show, yada, yada, yada. He's going after all of our own fucking podcasts. He's doing this, he's doing that. Why don't you be entertaining without going after people? And then he spends 20 minutes on the rundown, again saying, fuck Kirk. He makes this show no money.
You don't make dick. You're in the red. Kirk's in the red for this company. You know that, right? Everyone knows that. He loses this company money.
You know, I think he's talented, but, you know.
I think he's super talented.
I guess Dave's on the train he's going to leave anyway because he's not promoting the podcast at all. He's giving it negative publicity, and I'm of the train that all publicity is good publicity. But if you're Dave, apparently it's not, because he just fucking bitched that Schnitt Talk was getting, hammered with fucking tweets and all this other stuff. And to that, I just say, like,
shut the fuck up.
Thank you, Ellie. I didn't see you go on your fucking rundown and address why Ellie Schnitz has the fucking, and she has the authority to say it. That's fine, but what you really want to do is, I heard some people saying like, oh, K Marco, Kirk, Rough and Rowdy. That's fucking dumb. Like K Marco's one of those guys who, like, almost in a Zonker way is like he's behind like the screen and he's like this skinny douchebag with the most punchable face in the world. Like, you think my face is punchable? Oh God, like just look at him, and he's just like, and then he went on Sirius and gave that half-ass apology. It's just, no, what needs to happen is they just need to have Ellie and Kirk and K Mark or whoever, I would just say primarily Kirk and Ellie, hash it out on a rundown or on the show. But they're not going to do that. I have no idea why. You would have thought Barstool was the place to do that, but I guess it's not the place anymore. It's fucking weird. I don't know. The whole thing's weird. I said yesterday that I genuinely believed that they should make up with Barstool, and I don't know, man. I don't know if the relationship... Yesterday, I thought it was repairable. I'm at the point now where I'm starting to doubt it. And that's okay. It'll be Steve, Mike, and Kirk, and they're fucking, 2/3 of the show is talented, and they'll take it, and they'll go, and we'll grow it on YouTube. We'll grow it other ways. We'll fucking hire a sales staff. Yeah, I'm incorporating myself from that. Yeah, we're gonna fucking do it. I mean, they'll have a sales staff. That's what they should do is if they're going to go on their own, they're going to have to recruit a sales staff, because it's ironic. I must have missed. Where did Dave mention the inability to sell the Kirk Minihane show, or any fucking show for that matter? The reason the Kirk Minihane show's in the red is because it's a fucking might be a $1 million budget. It's probably close to it. Whereas Schnitt Talk's budget is probably like $350,000. So if you sell the same amount of ad reads, no shit, one show is going to be in the red. But if you're not selling more ad reads, why is, like Kirk said, he's coming in some weeks and there's no reads? How the fuck is that possible? Like, that's your job. Like, you get paid to sell. Not to compare legends, but when I was blowing the airwaves away in Virginia, it was the same thing. I had a lot of battles with sales staff. Kirk and I are very familiar, just, are very similar in ways, just because of the fact that, I have issues with the sales staff. He had issues with the sales staff. I had a number one show. He had a number one show. We both make 6 figures a year, and of course this is a bad joke. That's okay, we'll move on. In a weird way, when I do go on like a radio-esque tangent like that, like where like you almost want to go to like something scripted, you run out of stuff to talk about, so you kind of just go with what you know. Like, Kirk has just ruined radio or average communication for me in general. So like when I want to go to one of those pocket lines, like, oh, like let's make a wacky corny radio joke, you can almost like hear him now in the back of my head where he's like, you can just hear like that laugh. You just know he's gonna fucking, like, if he were to ever play it on the show, which he doesn't play like the YouTube stuff on the show anymore, but if he were to play it on the show, you could just hear him crying, laughing in the background and just making fun of it. And it's just, you can't listen to anything the same. You just can't. Why don't I get to this theory here with Zonker and because KFC had his, and KFC's just fucking dumb. If you look at that timeline where KFC says, you know what, hey, Zonker was really like fucking inactive for 6 years, picked up on Kirk's show, did all this stuff. Did you notice we hadn't heard much about Zonker until Murchison left? Until Murchison got fucking, and I don't mean Murchison left, but you know what I mean, when they had the vigil and they went at him fucking hard. That's kind of when Zonker slowly but surely peeked his head out. And if you think about it, Bob really had no other option. So my theory now is that, and this one for the Channel Zero guys, hopefully they listen, and maybe, to me it makes sense. I think that they found a guy like Zonker, who's a parody, who's a troll, and I think Bob DM'd him, and Bob Murchison has nothing to fucking lose. He doesn't care if how many times has an advertiser emailed him back saying like, no, we're good, fuck off, and he just keeps going. He'll just keep sending it and keep sending it and keep sending it. So he has no problem reaching out to somebody like a parody account. And I think he said, Zonker, hey, because I think from what we understand, Murchison for some reason is worth millions of dollars, and that's the weirdest thing. There's so many people walking around who are just loaded for literally no good reason. Like, there's no reason Bob Murchison should be loaded. He's not talented in any way. He doesn't make any companies any money. He lost Entercom literally millions of dollars, lost the Jimmy Fund millions of dollars, and will continue to do so. But I think he slid into Zonker's DMs, and he probably did this with other Minifans too, but or I shouldn't even say Minifans because Zonker's not a Minifan. He reached into those like probably sort of parody fucking lunatics. I mean, because if you look at how long he's hung on to this Barstool domain, like it is what it is. I think he went into his DMs and said, hey, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and slowly, but he built it because, like they say, Murchison is smart. Zonker's not, but Murchison is smart. So, excuse, I don't know what this is. In a way, I feel like, Jesus Christ. Zonker, I feel like Murchison was just like, hey, why don't we build this over, because I'm going to be like, the character of Murchison's gone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or him trying, I shouldn't say the character, but him trying to fuck up Kirk's life and Kirk's show has been gone. And so for the last 6 months, whatever it's been, 8 months, he's been building this Zonker and his DMs and with this elaborate plan. And of course, the big thing in all this, you know for a fact Zonker's getting paid. He is 100% funded by Bob Murchison. That is my whole theory, is Zonker's DMs were slid into by Murchison. He says, you know, hey, let's build this, let's do this, let's get involved with the Kirk Minihane show. I'm going to pay you, and I'm going to pay you a lot of money because I'm worth a lot of money to take this guy down. And it worked out well because you had somebody who was already encapsulated in Barstool with Zonker, and that's the kind of person you need to infiltrate Barstool. And he knew K. Marco fucking hated Kirk, so that might have been the way for Murchison to say, I can really fuck these guys from the inside. And Dave made a good point saying, that one made sense to me, where he said, you know, we've all been in uniform. The difference between Entercom and Barstool, and it's true. I know I had said this, but, you know, because Kirk has said he felt like he was going into meetings with EEI again. Barstool's not Entercom. They're just not. I don't think they are. Some people disagree and they say they're Entercom Junior. It's still like EEI. They're censoring it. And I get that. They're not perfect by any means. I just don't see it because Barstool's been like really on, I don't want to say on Kirk's side, but everybody has said universally that what K. Marco did was stupid. Is that enough? No, I get that. But I get all that. Believe me, I get it. But EEI wasn't even acknowledging that what Murchison was doing was wrong. And they just caved to it. And whether you agree with Dave's plan or not, to just ignore it, he doesn't get it. We all know that. But even if you don't agree with his plan, you've got to at least acknowledge that they said, you know, fuck Zonker, this is stupid, we disavow, we're on, you know, they don't have any actions to speak behind it, but they do say we're on Kirk's side. So, I mean, it's something, even if it's not a lot, it's still better than Endercom to me. That's the other thing, too, when you listen to the rundown. I know I talked about how talented Dave and Big Cat are, but it's like you look at those, it was like 2 minutes before and 2 minutes after between, like, Kirk was basically the entire rundown. There was 2 minutes before where they talked about, like, Dave owning the Mets or some dumb shit, and then they talked about at the end, LeBron 30 for 30. It was, and you could tell KFC is so influenced by Kirk, because he goes, KFC, he's such a loser. He goes, oh, what is it going to be, an ass kiss fest on LeBron in the decision? LeBron already came out and said it was a bad idea. Like, he's trying to be the contrarian. He's trying to say, yeah, fuck this. Sports are dumb. Screw ESPN. Like, he's such a closet Minifan and a closet copycat. He just wants to probably take Kirk's motto and model of a show and incorporate it into his fucking dying breed. Like I said, he's got probably 100,000 actual active Twitter followers, if that, probably even less. What do you have, like 100 fucking likes on a tweet? Get the fuck out of here. But there's a reason that they talked about Kirk the majority of that rundown, because those other topics and hearing them talk about them were fucking Z's. Boring. But what is it? Harry Minihane, right? Boring minus. B minus. It was fucking awful. And I know I throw a lot of hate KFC's way, but I probably shouldn't. He's kind of like low-hanging fruit at this point. Like, you've got, like, I guess the top of the tree to the bottom of the tree. It's like weird. I'm like pointing it out with my hands right now. I'm like, the tree's at the top, and then I'm a fucking idiot. You've got your Kirks at the top. You know, you got your Dave, Steve, your Big Cats, you know, your TJ Hubbards, your fucking Kevin from Bristol's, your John from Scranton's. Now we're slowly working down the tree, if you can't notice. You know, you got like your John from Scranton's, BA, fucking Phil. And then below that, you've got Blind Mike. And then below that, even more, you've got like Menners. And then you've got KFC. I mean, he fits right in. Thank you. What I do know is if this relationship is still repairable, and based off what I've seen, I know I posted my clip yesterday. I think that's her name. Gina had replied and just basically said, like, I don't feel comfortable giving my money to a company that allows their employees to label me as racist. And that's a valid fucking point. Like, it's like I said, I think the restaurant analogy was great yesterday. Or if you want to even use the fucking IHOP analogy where they fucking spit in your pancakes. Like, it's just so weird that Barstool hasn't embraced us at all. Like, you would have thought they would have tried so much harder. It could have been, and that's another thing, like I said, it takes years to be fucking superbly profitable, but they don't get that. They don't see big picture. How a fucking business doesn't see big picture? I guess maybe because they see somebody like, you know, all the other shows that they have where they start out huge and then they dwindle down, where Kirk's is the opposite. You have to build it. You have to invest in it. You know, not only do you have to sell for the show, you've got to promote it. And to Kirk's fault, he says all the time, but I think it's playful, where he doesn't want promotion. You need promotion. You really do. You really do. Cut. Yeah, I'm going to leave that in there so you can laugh at me. Thank you. But because it can be a very hard show to get into, you've got to give people time to really even listen to it once. Maybe they listen to like 15 minutes and they're a little lost because they don't know all the inside jokes. They don't know what's going on. Listen to a second time. They give it another shot. Fuck off. Who's this? Kyle Gentile. I don't even. Okay. Fucking kid made me lose my train of thought. Oh, yeah, so they listen to it a second time. Maybe they still can't get into it. Then maybe a third time, they're like, okay, some of this is starting to make sense. Or even if it's not starting to make sense, they just think some of the other stuff that you can relate to is so fucking hilarious that they end up just sticking it out, and then they become a Minifan. Because once you're in, you're fucking in. If this relationship is repairable, honestly, I think the funniest way to do it would just be like have another vigil, or even better, just do like a fucking funeral where you get like 100 fucking stoolies, hardcore fucking stoolies with the personalities. I want Big Cat there. I want KFC there to literally eat fucking dirt and eat shit. And then you have 100 fucking Minifans on the other side, and you literally find something, whether it's a hatchet, something, bury the fucking hatchet, hug it out, give everybody fucking coronavirus, and just everybody can embrace everybody. And that, now you also realize that sounded A, supremely, like, you know, not like something that's gonna happen, and B, just not gonna happen, to quote Julie. Oh boy, what is it? A, not gonna happen. B, no way. C, no thanks. So I guess we're coming. I don't know. I still have to cut all this up. We know I'm not talented enough to just go fucking 25 minutes straight. We're at about 24 minutes now. Going, and I could do longer, but I also understand that, like, listen, my voice wears on people. They can't listen to me like that. I'll just say it. I have a decently annoying voice, but I mean, I would like to see, you know, I'll wrap it up. I would like to see Kirk address maybe some of like the YouTube comments that we have, because I know a lot of people think that's dumb. That is something that, you know, a lot of popular YouTubers do, where they'll react to their comments, they'll scroll, they'll look at them. It's not in like a dumb way, like where I think Fallon's like celebrity meeting reading mean tweets, but just like there are plenty of like actual cool YouTubers who do it in a funny way, and I think Kirk would be really good at it. And maybe he should consider making some YouTube exclusive content too. But political Portnoy, I mean, he hits his talking points, he hits them hard, he ignores all the tough fucking questions, and he gets out, and he doesn't have anybody. I don't know if Kirk would have wanted to done it, but maybe put a fucking Minifan on the rundown. What the fuck do you have to lose? It's not like you're paying them. Put somebody in Kirk's place other than Big Cat, because I mean, Big Cat's kind of like half in, half out. Put a fucking Minifan on there to say, well, why aren't you addressing this, or why aren't you? They don't do it because it's the same reason a fucking Republican goes for an interview on Fox and a fucking Democrat goes to an interview on MSNBC and CNN. Like, you don't want to hear the other side, and that's why it is what it is. Listen, what I would say is also, like, at that point, Portnoy's kind of like a little bit like Superman. Like, he's almost working hard to ruin the show, and he's adding fucking fuel to the fire by just tearing down Kirk, saying they're in the fucking red. Oh, but I think he's talented. That is the biggest, like, weirdest backhanded compliment in the world. Like, hey, you're in the red, but you're talented. I mean, if that doesn't say something about your fucking sales staff, I don't know what does. But listen, if Dave was good at his job and like didn't beg Alex Cooper to come back and give Call Her Daddy whatever the fuck they wanted, listen, he could have been Peter Nelson. He could have been that guy. All right, that'll do it on my end. It's been a fucking rough couple of days for me, but that's okay. We'll fucking... it's 7 in the morning and I'm up at 5 a.m. driving 45 minutes to a studio to record a fucking 20-minute show that 50 people are gonna fucking listen to. But if you actually did listen, I'm not, you know, I know the big thing is I'm a Kirk ripoff or I'm a Kirk wannabe. I actually appreciate my fucking audience. I don't say if you don't like me, don't listen. I would say if you did make it this far, I actually appreciate it. This is such a radio bit and I can hear him laughing in the background. See, this is what I'm talking about. All right, goodbye. I really fucking am a wannabe Kirk. I just walked out of the studio and came back in and like, now I'm gonna record a 3-minute spiel and whatever. Oh god, it's so it almost makes me uncomfortable to know that like I do these things, but I'm also clinically insane. Whatever, yeah. Well, there you go. And this is also the test if people actually made it this far, because I don't think they did. But if they did, I could go longer. Like, you know, I edit things and whatnot, and that's fine. I'm a work in progress. I acknowledge that. But I do want to get better at this stuff. I want to try to go. And this episode was I don't know if you guys, you should be able to hear, like, when I make a cut, because there's like almost like you can almost hear the last part of my breath if it sounds like I'm going to keep talking, but I lose my steam or I lose a train of thought of like, okay, go back to the notes really quick. But, like here. That but is normally the one. I don't know if people want me to just, and people don't care, I know, but I mean, I like to try to give people things that they're interested in. I mean, I know a lot of people aren't interested in this stuff anyway, but while the show is off, at least give you something to listen to. I guess it's better than, you know, traditional radio, but I hope anyway. Maybe it's not, jeez. There's a lot of Barstool stuff we can talk about. I started going through last night, speaking of fucking edits, I challenge you. Go through a fucking Schnit Talk YouTube video. I clicked on one of her videos. It was like reading my drunk text or something like that. You think Alistair Black edits. Dude, her fucking edits are literally like, it's like you're just watching a video of strobe lights. It's constant, it's chop I'm not kidding. Like, I know a lot of people think like I do like exaggeration, hyperbole. You go watch one of those videos. It is literally every 2 to 3 seconds there's a cut, a zoom into her face, a backdrop, which I mean, if you are going to zoom into her face, at least let it be after the Periscope video, I'll say that. But and then that's it just Barstool people would probably give you shit for even saying something like that. It's like, oh, okay, but she can call me a racist. No, it's fine. Yeah, we're good. Then there was that weird fucking thing of like them tweeting out a video of somebody like blowing up a brick building that might have been a police station. I don't even know. And then Viva La Stool tweeting out like that chopped up thing of Kirk from my YouTube channel, by the way, which they, you know, I've made that joke a couple of times. It fails, but that's okay. Where they don't get my permission, but you know, and then there was who was it? I don't know if it was Rhea. I think she posted a video of herself fucking like twerking to Tekashi 6ix9ine. There's a bunch of Barstool stuff we can get into and roast if that's the route we want to go, or if, you know, there's a bunch of other shit out there right now. I know Blind Mike, but nobody listens to that show. I love you though, Mike. He asked for a little bit of love, so I'll give you some love. He addressed on what is it? Drop the Mic? Yeah, I think it's Drop the Mic. The whole Rogan controversy that went on with him being canceled. There was something going on with Taco Bell. They wanted fucking Taco Bell canceled. There's a bunch of shit going on in the fucking world. So there's a lot to talk about, especially if Kirk's not talking about it. So I don't know what direction I want to go. I know nobody's going to slide into my DMs. Nobody's going to fucking comment. Nobody's going to reply to this video. So I don't have to make a decision myself. But all right, I guess that's it. Take it easy.